Hey, my name is Stan Coulthard. I work for Bay County Fire Rescue. I've been a firefighter for 25 years and love my job, love the career. One thing that makes humans great is that we can develop tools. Everybody that does anything, whether it's carpentry, plumbing, yard work, even cooking, knows that if you have the right tool for the job, it makes it safer, faster, and easier. I'm actually old enough to remember before leaf blowers and weed eaters, and it sucked. So every job that we do can be improved by developing a tool for that job, designed for that job. Now, I've always been on an engine, and our job, as you know, is to move an attack line into the structure to the seat of the burning and put water on the fire. Fairly straightforward. This normally flows 110 gallons a minute, and most fires, if you get in there, do your job right, you get in the right position, most fires, 2 rooms, contents, are blacked out with less than 100 gallons of water. So what that does is we still have a dry floor, but the fire's blacked out. Now, we will spend the next 3 hours dragging this big heavy line and dumping 110 gallons a minute doing overhaul. And it just didn't make sense to me. We're working our butt off for no reason. We're using vast amounts of water to put on hot spots and embers. And so what I wanted to do was develop a tool for overhaul, because overhaul is about 80% of the time we're on a fire. And it's about 80% of the time we spend and the labor. And it's one of the most dangerous times, because the number one thing that kills us is stress and strain on the body at the fire scene. Well, what's doing that is carrying this big heavy thing around and doing overhaul. Also, the number one cause of injuries is stress and strain and muscle pulls. The reason we get this is everything we touch and work with is heavy. The second leading cause of injury on the fire ground is actually a charged hose line. And 80% of the time that we have this in our hands, we're doing overhaul. So what I wanted to do was figure out a way to use, one, less water, use a lighter line, and to keep this out of your hands as much as possible. So what I did is invented what I call the Tac4 nozzle. And what I'm going through right now is the overhaul, what this does in overhaul. So I put a quick connect that rides between the fire nozzle and the hose. And it rides there all the time. It's just a few ounces. Doesn't get in the way. You can still operate. As soon as you black the fire out, you call for the Tac4 nozzle. And what that is a nozzle that's designed specifically for overhaul. This is 10 gallons a minute, which is plenty of water to put out embers, hot spots. It's a penetrating nozzle, so we can place this down into the stuffed furniture, into the clothes. We can get it into the back of the closet, in the drawers, under the bed, and it is literally moving this small line around. But it's actually sized correctly for our job. Now, I wanted it to work even better. So what I wanted it to do was create its own Class A foam, because Class A foam is going to break the surface tension of the water and let it sink deeply into the charred material. I developed a soap that will simply drop into this chamber, and as the water flows, it will create foam in the system. Now, here's another cool part. Decon's a huge thing now. We have to decon ourselves, decon our tools. And so I developed this soap, so it's also a decon soap. So not only can we fight fire with it, but we can also decon. So once we black the fire out, we simply take this. The attack line never has to be shut down. We don't have to gate the pressure down. We just take this hydraulic fitting, and I just charged the Tac4 line. This line is only 25 feet long. Since this is never shut down, if we get into, let's say we pull a ceiling and we have big fire, we still got big water. But at the same time, now I can range out through the room and put this directly on each hot spot and give it a little bump. So we're using the least amount of water we can. And I call it tactical overhaul. And I know tactical is vastly overused right now. You can buy tactical underwear, and tactical sunglasses. It's ridiculous. Tactical actually has a meaning, and it is fast, it is measured, and efficient. And so what we want to do is tactical overhaul. Fast, because I can move this thing easily from hotspot to hotspot in a moment. And I can put just a measured amount of water on it, just enough to put it out. There's no reason in washing away people's property. There's no reason in washing away possible evidence of arson. And so it's fast, it's measured, and it's very efficient. So this is actually tactical overhaul. But this is never out of service. So let's say we pull a ceiling, we've got big fire, we put it out. Let's say that we got to go up in an attic. We can be at the top of the attic with this, but now a guy can crawl in and actually move this to right where he needs the water. Now I'm in a rural department and we get fires that are under mobile homes. Trying to move a full attack line under a mobile home just isn't going to work. But now we can crawl under there and put water right where we need it to put the fire out without having to cut the floors out. It literally takes all the physical labor out of overhaul, and we're not doing damage. 90% of the water, we went from flowing 110 gallons of water to 10. The foam cartridge will last about 30 minutes. So that's at 10 gallons a minute, that's about 300 gallons of water. We found that we can pretty much do all the overhaul on a 2-room and contents with 300 gallons of water. And like I said, we can also use this for decon. We can use it for wildland fires. We actually have an extension nozzle that will make this longer. Out in the Midwest, I found out that hay bale fires are a big deal. So this can be pushed directly into the hay bales with the Class A foam to put them out quickly. It can also be used on wildland fires to push down into the duff to get those out more efficiently. It's basically an extremely simple tool. I'm not changing how we fight fire. I just built a better tool to do it. I built a tool that is designed for a purpose, and it's overhaul. So it makes it safer, makes it faster, makes it more efficient.